Alright, this is John Cole with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and today I just woke up actually, and one of the things I encourage you guys to do right when you wake up, and even before I go to bed actually, I like to do this also, is to get hydrated. And one of the biggest questions I get all the time is, John, what's the best water, right? Is the best water tap water? We can turn it on here to tap water, and I would say not. Unfortunately, tap water may be safe to drink in some senses that it doesn't have the bacterial contamination and all this stuff, depending on where you live in the world. It also has a lot of things added to it, unfortunately. It may have chemical contaminants that are still in there, chlorine, chloramine, and even worse, the fluoride. So then some people might say, okay, John, I got this guy in the back. It's a carbon block multi-pure. It's like probably one of the best carbon block filters out there. I can turn on my water and hit the little button here. And I can fill up my water bottle with pure filtered water. And in many cases, actually, this might be a good option. But nonetheless, people say, John, well, what about distilled water or reverse osmosis water or spring water? Are those better than filtered water? So number one, I would always encourage you guys to at least minimum get a good quality filter to filter your water so you have filtered drinking water. At my home, I actually use reverse osmosis water. You know, there are pros and cons to the minerals in the water, right? If you go to a spring, you could get spring water that has naturally occurring minerals, high ppm, hopefully it's fairly low ppm or parts per million water. But the problem with that is that there also may be bad minerals and too high amounts of certain bad minerals. Arsenic, for example, was recently discovered in a bottled spring water that many people may be buying, and there's actually very few regulations, unfortunately, on bottled waters. So for that reason, I don't like to drink even bottled water when I have another really good source of water available. So for that, we're gonna have to head outside. So now I'm outside and I'll show you guys my favorite source of water in the whole wide world, actually. It's right here behind me. This is a coconut palm. A coconut palm is not a tree, it's a coconut palm. It's not exactly a tree, it doesn't have wood. But this is my favorite source of water in the entire world over any kind of bottled water, spring water, reverse osmosis water, distilled water, all these things. And let me go ahead around to the back, and we're gonna harvest one today, and I'll explain to you why this is simply the best water on earth. All right, so the coconut palm can produce up to, 100, 150 nuts a year, depending on how productive it is. You can see this small dwarf coconut palm is, maybe like, 10, 15 feet tall, has all these coconuts on here, like, 10, 15 coconuts on a rack. And there's a rack here, there's little baby racks starting to form up there. I mean, just for a family of 4, this would probably be plenty enough to feed you. Plus, coconut palms grow really super easily. We're right actually near the ocean, and they absorb a lot of the different trace minerals. Anyways, let's go around the back and I'll harvest one, and I'll show you how easy it is to get into a coconut. Okay, so here are some of the ones that I'm gonna harvest today. They're right at the perfect level of maturity. The meat's kind of still a little bit, young in there and tender, gonna be so delicious. It's very important, if you're harvesting your own coconuts, is you get ones that are at the proper age, Some of the ones like more up top, maybe these guys are pretty good, but there's some up there that are not quite old enough. If the coconuts are maybe like under 6 months, maybe under 5 months old, they're still babies, they're still young. The water's not going to develop the full flavor, and the coconut has not been on the palm long enough to absorb some of the beneficial nutrients that should be in there. So the water is not going to taste as good. Some may say it tastes bitter. I say it tastes kind of more astringent. Anyways, for a perfect coconut, we're just going to go here, and it's super simple. You don't need any tools, right? You can just simply come here, and I'm spinning off this coconut. And then pulling it off. Super simple, super easy. And then we're gonna come with our special inox coconut opener from Brazil. We're gonna come down here and take this, and we're gonna pop off the top. We're gonna set the coconut up, put this tool in here right down the stem, and just tap it in there, whoops, and then it sprays. And we're gonna twist and turn, pop out a little cork. Now we have a little hole in there. We take our straw, put our straw in there, and drink. Nature's refreshing best water. Now, the 5 reasons why I like the coconut water instead of the bottled water, tap water, any kind of filtered water. Number 1 is because this is alive. This is living foods. It has the enzymes in there when you harvest them right off the tree. Very important. It's a structured water. They say that it basically hydrates you better than standard water. So this is completely amazing. Number 2 reason why I like the coconut water is it is sterile. Man has not messed with this. This has not taken up massive amount of pollutants. It doesn't have chlorine in there, chloramines, doesn't have excessive levels of any kind of fluoride or any other kind of toxic minerals in there because it's been filtered by the tree. All the water that's up in the coconuts have to come up and get absorbed by the tree roots, and the tree roots are selective in what it basically takes up. And provided you have good soil that's uncontaminated, you're gonna have delicious and rich coconut water. Another reason why I like the coconut water is for the electrolytes. You've probably heard this. You know, there's studies by the World Health Organization that coconut water is even better than Gatorade in replenishing your electrolytes. So if you're like an athlete, this is very important. And if you're just a regular person like you or me, it's also important because we need these certain trace minerals in us, you know, quite high in magnesium. One coconut probably has as much magnesium as a banana. And actually bananas aren't even that high in magnesium, you know, which people think they are. The other reason why I like the coconuts is that the minerals have the proper charge, right? And this is a very important distinction between standard water or spring water. John, the spring water has minerals and we need the minerals, right? Well, minerals can cause calcification in the body. And, you know, there's a lot of people starting to have calcification from, you know, eating the wrong kind of minerals. So the minerals that are from like groundwater do not have the right charge for our bodies to uptake. So we absorb a very small percentage of them. Meanwhile, the coconut has the proper charge on there and our body absorbs more of the minerals in the coconut than from the water, than standard, you know, tap water or spring water. And of course, in distilled water or RO, reverse osmosis water, there's no minerals. And some people claim that there's no minerals in there. Some people claim that that's a good thing, and some people claim that's a bad thing. I just want to say that, hey, you know, in the coconut water, there's naturally occurring levels of minerals, and that's what I want. The other reason why coconut water is so good is because it's a living plant. Because it's a living plant, it has antioxidants. And actually, in a recent test, when I was blending with coconut water versus standard water, what I blended with the coconut water didn't oxidize as fast as the standard water, all else being equal. So I don't want to say this is totally the truth, but based on my observations and testing, you know, there's less oxidative damage when you're blending with coconut water than when you're blending with regular water. And that would be a sign that, hey, what's in the coconut water that's causing less oxidative damage? It's some nutrients in there, some antioxidants that are doing this. And so antioxidants are really important for us. They keep us young. And besides the antioxidants in there that are keeping us young and may have many health benefits, they've done a lot of studies on rats and whatnot for like heart disease and diabetes and all this stuff, weight loss with coconut water, and they show positive results. I guess there's very few, you know, studies on humans as of yet. But the coconut water also contains the plant cytokines and gibberellins. And if you guys are like into hydroponic growing, you know what gibberellins is and all this stuff. You want to give this stuff to your plants because it's basically plant hormones, cause your plants to grow really fast. And if you're, you know, a medicinal cannabis grower, you want your plants to grow really fast so you can get the money out of them, get the buds. But actually, I like the green leaves instead. They're much more beneficial. But anyways, these gibberellins and these plant cytokines are needed in the coconut because think about it. How the coconut works is all these coconuts are basically seeds. They drop down when they're mature onto the ground. They sprout up, and on the other side of the field here, there's a whole bunch of sprouting coconuts. And basically, they need to fall in the ocean. They fall across the ocean. They're buoyant. They float. They float across the ocean. Could be 30 days, could be 60 days, could be a couple months floating across the ocean until they land on a beach. And then they sprout, they send down their roots, and they grow a new palm. And the plant cytokines in there basically allow the coconut to not spoil, not go bad, and to allow their DNA and whatnot to replicate perfectly each and every time so that there's not these defective coconut palms and so that these seeds can remain viable. And when it's in my opinion, when we drink these plant cytokines, it's anti-aging for us. It's super critical, super important. We don't want to age faster than we need to, and unfortunately things like fried food, fast food, processed food, animal products in excess will age you faster than need be. But coconut water will counteract that. And so don't eat those things and drink coconut water. Just drink the coconut water so you can get the anti-aging effects within you. Plus, the other reason why I like it, it's so delicious. Every coconut I've drinking off the tree always tastes different. Sometimes they're a little bit sweet, sometimes they're a bit less sweet. Sometimes they have like a fruity punch flavor. Sometimes they have a champagne-y, little bit naturally carbonated flavor. Every time it's different. I think it's sad when you get coconuts at the store and they always taste the same, right? There's many varieties of coconut trees or coconut palms that people are not aware of, and probably there's not even names for all of them. It's kind of like if you go to the store, you can buy Granny Smith apples, Red Delicious apples, Rome apples, Macintosh apples. There's many different coconuts. There's like the standard Thai dwarf coconut, which is what most people get when they get the Thai coconuts. I personally like to get the Mexican coconuts these days that are kind of like not quite as sweet. Really delicious. But yeah, there's many different kinds and they all taste a little bit different. So I really like the genetic diversity that I'm getting when I'm harvesting coconuts right off the tree. And so here's the thing, if you guys can't get fresh coconuts like I'm able to get today, you know, I believe that 100% pure coconut water, you know, that doesn't have additives, that's not from concentrate, that doesn't have added sugars, added citric acid and all these things, is still better than, you know, standard tap water for sure. And I would encourage you guys to do the best you can. If you can't get fresh coconuts, which I would encourage you guys is the best, because when you get any packaged coconut product, you're probably missing out on some of the nutrients. Probably some of the best coconut waters are the HPP coconut waters that you could buy that are in the refrigerated section. They're quite expensive, like $4 for 16 ounces. Those probably have more nutrients than the ones that have been pasteurized that are on the shelf, but in any case, you know, you're missing things when you're getting some processed coconut water in a bottle, plus you're creating all this excess packaging waste that hopefully should be recycled. But coconuts in the shell, 100% compostable, and you could return these guys to the earth. So yeah, I'd encourage you guys to drink more coconut water, and if you can't get coconuts or coconut water near you, then I recommend other living waters, which would include, for me, when I can't get fresh coconut water, I like to do fresh cucumber and celery juice, right? That's another living water to me, because it has essential vitamins and minerals, electrolytes, phytochemicals, phytonutrients, and antioxidants that I can make with my juicer and drink. So yeah, hope that answered the question today. What's the best water on earth? If you guys enjoyed this episode, hey, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. Let me know. That'll encourage me to do more videos like this with one of my favorite foods in the whole world, the coconut. And besides just the water, you could make coconut milk, and that's different than the coconut water. You could make like the coconut Queen's candy, which is the coconut sprout. I mean, the coconut is definitely a wealth of food. Oh, and then there's the coconut palm or heart of palm. The coconut is amazing food, and if you guys are able and live in a climate that can support it, I encourage you guys to grow many. So also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on any of my new and upcoming episodes. I'm coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel. And also be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, including plenty of videos on how to open coconuts and all this kind of stuff, and coconut information, as it is one of my favorite foods. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best, including the coconut water.